The views and opinions expressed on any program are those of the persons appearing on the program and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of the New Media Factory. Some programs on this network might include strong images and language and may not be suitable for all audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
Would you come if I asked you to ride with me on this one-way road that leads? Well, I don't know, but I will take you anyway you see. I know what you need, and what you've got is exactly what I want.
Good evening, welcome to Counterflow. This is live from Beyond the Box in One Rockwell. I'm James Deacon.
I'm Alan Sevilla.
Finally again. Okay, and the Pacho Blanco. And we have a friend here with us.
David Feliciano.
The David Feliciano.
The man who started it all when it comes to the drift scene.
Yeah,
here
absolutely.
in the country.
I knew he was here before us because I saw the skid marks going into the driveway. Of,
Yeah, there you go.
One Rockwell. And yeah, we're going to be talking to David about drifting and a whole bunch of stuff.
And you know what James did? He showed your video here, the one you're drifting in front of the Autoplus on your car.
Oh, yeah?
And he told everybody that was you.
When was this? I didn't see this. Was this last week?
Yes, we showed you putting out all the
I think
there.
Miguel still have the video somewhere there.
Yeah, we'll be showing that later. Anyway, I just wanted, before we kick off, and we may forget this, we are broadcasting here from Beyond the Box, One Rockwell, and they're having a special promo, so we thought we'd just announce
cool.
to our good friends here at One Rockwell, they Beyond the Box, there's 5% off stuff like the iPod Shuffle 4th generation, 5% off iPod Nanos, the 7th generation, the iPod Touch 4th and 5th, and this is all for, you can come here with straight transactions, or you can go for the HSBC Gold or Platinum card. You can visit their Facebook page for more information about these special prices.
All right, cool.
All right, so cool. So we got that out of the way. Pacho!
Why did they
¿Cómo
put that?
estás?
Why did they put that 5% after the birthday of my wife?
No? It's called Murphy's Law.
Oh man!
Why? What did you get her?
iPad Mini
Oh, too bad.
and some accessories. Okay.
So how have you been? We just came from Batanes. And
Batanes.
we're on a high, man.
Oh
Yeah.
man, you know. Well, with David, we've been with a lot more smoke in the lungs than you guys for sure.
Absolutely.
Because of the dynoing of the cars.
Yeah, and the
right?
rubber and everything, though, and stuff like that. Yeah, but there are two events coming up this weekend, which is one of them is the drag race. It's gonna be in Clark, and then another event is drifting. And then David, tell us, this is a new event. It's coming up
Yes,
right now.
it's more for the novice drivers out there who's starting to drift. And,
How do you classify novice? Sorry, that you.
well, most of them are the people who really wants to get into drifting, and they have this Skyline, Sephiros that they set it up for drifting, but they still don't know really how to get into the sport.
Okay, so what point do you say no? You're no longer a novice. That you've competed, or
Well, of course, the judges like us, we Alex and a few of the guys, we try to bring them to the track.
Okay.
And we make them drift. We see how they drift. If they are really doing, pretty good speed and angle, then we tell them, hey, you're not for the novice guys already.
Okay. So this event that you're planning, this is on Saturday?
Yes,
say?
it's on Saturday.
This is to invite all novice drifters out
yes,
there.
yes,
You bring your
yes.
own cars. Is there an entrance fee, and where is it going to be held?
Well, we do have an entrance fee. I think it's $2.5 for the day, and we have a practice the day before.
Okay.
You can test
This
your
is
car.
going to be where?
In Mega Tent. It's in Libis, right beside this place in Dampa. I think it's the place where the McDonald's and Starbucks is.
Before McDonald's. Yes.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so you're going down C5.
Coming from Makati.
Coming from Makati before you hit Shopwise?
Yes.
That's after Shopwise, right?
After. That's actually in the U-turn. The U-turn
No, it's
slot.
before Shopwise.
Before Shopwise coming from Makati.
You see the Wilkins Builders. Then you continue going straight, and then there is a U-turn slot. The entrance is right in front of that U-turn.
Yeah.
But it's on that side of the road.
On that side
Okay.
of the road.
All right.
Coming from Makati, you know. No,
Pretty
no
good
doubt.
stuff. Pretty good stuff. Okay, so
Very near.
anyone can join, and then you will classify whether they're novice or not once they get there.
Yes,
So
yes.
what if we sandbag? You know, like
Well, the qualifying, we'll see in the qualifying. We have a speed gun, so we see if they're really sandbagging, and of course.
so drifting has come such a long way since I remember being one of your first judges.
Oh yeah. That's right.
You were there,
5 years back,
James.
man.
It was
Yeah.
it was in Clark.
Oh yeah, it's 5 years.
And
It
back.
was in
5,
Expo
6.
Filipino, yeah.
Yes, I
And-
still remember the roster. We had Ian King, even Ferman Lau joined.
Yeah, with a
using his,
front-wheel drive
Yeah,
EK.
yeah, no, it was an EG.
EG, yeah, an EG
Yeah,
Civic.
can you imagine that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
it's
was
really old
that was
school.
really
want
that was
to-
painful to watch. It was like child
I just want
labor.
to remind you that we are not in radio anymore. So when you make those faces, the camera can pick it up though. So
Oh, which one? The
Fairman Lao.
no, because of that. I just remember the Civic. That's why.
Civic, yeah.
I remember the Civic, and the thought of the front screeching because it was all handbrake stuff.
He won because he was the
He
only
was the
one
only
in the category.
He won his category. We had a front
Yeah.
wheel. That's how young drifting was back then. We had a front wheel
Well,
drive
that time
category.
was really the ages like man. It was like we were.
When was that, David? Do you
I think
remember
that was like probably the 2006 or 7.
I think it was
Maybe
06.
2007.
7, something like that.
Okay, but wow.
It was, and then there was Gio Rodriguez. If you can tell me how old
Atoy.
Gio is now, he was 15 then.
Yeah, he was 15.
he won that event.
He won that event, and but everything was really, the judging was so subjective. It was like, pwede na yan.
Yeah.
Now you got
Yeah.
speed gun. How do you measure angles? Still subjectively, or
Well, now the angle is actually just plain simple. Just keep the angle and
but
continue.
this is still subjectively.
yes,
done by
yes.
the-
But now it's more distinct because of the
Yeah.
you have smoke.
Exactly.
Angle is just you can just handbrake. Now there's that smoke. It pushes the back.
Okay, so,
So
you know how they're achieving it. It
Yes,
needs to be
yes.
with speed. So there's speed, how long you sustain it.
Exactly.
And wow, okay, all right. So what type of this track will be a second or third gear track?
It's a second gear track.
That's my kind of track.
It's basically safe though, because normally
You're right.
yeah, it is. It's but the track has a little jumps here and there.
Oh,
Nice.
okay, that's gonna be tricky.
So it's a tricky corner because tricky track because of a few jumps. Like I think we have 2. So a small bump, maybe So if you really go fast, you feel the oop.
Oh, okay.
So
All
it's
right.
fun.
The 4 wheels go on there.
Oh, really?
The 4 wheels go on there.
All right. Pretty exciting stuff. Okay, so for those who would like to join, you can
Or
basically
watch.
watch. You can
Watch
just
it. Yes, and
turn up,
watch.
or do you contact you? How would
Well,
your contact
we have
details?
a Facebook page, so you can check it out. NDS Drifting Series. So you can just check it.
N?
What is that? Again?
NDS Novice Drift Series.
Okay.
Okay, and
So NDS, yeah. So you can check it out. It's all there. All the details are there. All the everything's there. Pictures, everything. The roster for the whole day. It's all there. So you can just go and check it out.
All right, pretty cool stuff. Okay, so with that, we'll get back and forth to the drifting and then talk about that. Alan and I just came back from Batanes, which is probably the most beautiful place in the Philippines. Would you
magical
agree?
place.
Would you agree?
Yes, I have to agree. In fact, James told me before we went to Batanes that this guy's been to a lot of places in Europe. You've been to the Isle of Man, right?
No, but Wales and Scotland and
Yeah, so you can just imagine
Monaco and
it's hard to impress James, but he told me that when you go to Batanes, it's like the concentration of the beautiful spots is just insane.
yeah,
And-
pound for pound, it's like one of probably the best place I've been in the world for natural
Yes.
beauty. For natural beauty, it's outstanding. I remember one guy actually said to me, "But you've been here 3 times." Like, yeah, well, I've had sex before. I still enjoy it. Sorry, but, it's just not a good example to say you cannot get sick of Batanes. Now, here's something very
You
interesting.
cannot get sick of.
Yes, to tell them,
Batanes.
James, tell them about the coding.
Oh yeah. I was like, there are 14 jeepneys in Batanes, right?
Yes.
14, and that's over 3 islands, and there's coding, right? And the coding's not one
we're not
day.
kidding.
They can only drive Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
That's for this. They divided it into 2.
Into 2, and then
So
the others can
7
drive Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday.
Saturdays.
And then
You want to know why? Because they're gonna cause traffic. Because the roads there are narrow.
I'll show you how narrow. I'll show you just how narrow the roads are here. If we can just pull this up on, we'll pull this up on our screen. This is just insane. This is okay. How do we do this again? TriCaster 1? 1? All right. Check this out. You could barely swipe your credit card between the wall and the side. The mirrors are already folded in. That is the view from the top. You basically couldn't get out of the car
Can you
anymore.
imagine Kevin driving in
Yes.
that tight spot? He was just tense the whole time.
And that's what it looks like inside the car. It's just, it's insane. You know, it is just so nuts. And so we had to jump out of the car and sort of guide him with our fingers, you know, millimeters at a time. And when you have something like that, you really should only have one person doing the guiding. Because his Sabs was in front and she was doing this and I was doing the other way, and he was just saying so rattled. I mean, it was literally just millimeters.
It took us around 15 minutes just to get past that.
Absolutely, absolutely. So anyway, some of the streets are as tight as that in Batanes because they don't really have many cars there. Like I said, 14 jeepneys, and the price of a jeepney to ride, 50
crazy.
pesos.
Yeah,
50.
Why? It's because
The
of
gasoline is 72 pesos a
72
liter.
No.
72.
Wow.
So no drifting events there.
Yeah, I can't. I don't. I think I can't.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah.
No, it's that is yeah.
they have grassy areas, James.
They have grassy area. That's true.
They can
No,
drift.
but it was so interesting because they had this $72 a liter for gasoline,
Regular.
regular. Yeah.
Oh my god.
There's no blaze there.
There's no blaze. There's no LPG. It's just. But it's an insane place. It's just really, really spectacular. I just want to show you a picture, another picture here. If we could just pull this one up. This one's cute. I like this one.
James, you took a lot of really good pictures on your iPhone.
I just
It's
you know,
crazy.
because I'd been to Batanes before, I decided to just use my iPhone for all of it. I said, I'm just gonna tour Batanes on an iPhone.
I
Because
can't
you're just
bring
too
my,
lazy to bring a
I was just too
Skyline
lazy. It was just too heavy.
There,
Okay,
It won't fit.
check this out. Separated at birth.
It is exactly the same.
Can you? Oh, sorry. I shouldn't turn my phone off, right? Okay. All right. We'll try it again.
Where is it?
I have to hit TriCaster again, right? TriCaster 1.
Yeah, and then turn off your phone.
Okay. Turn it off.
Yeah,
Okay.
don't. Okay.
That's is that a Rio on top?
That's a Rio on top, and that's an Audi A6 below.
Can you imagine? Look at the lines.
Separated at birth. Look at those taillights. They're just like, I'm sure, one size fits all.
Even the spoiler.
Even the spoiler. The only slight difference is just there. They break it up where the number plate is. But just check those lights out.
But is it because James,
But the Kia was
designer
first.
of Audi, went to
Yeah,
is now
but
with
years
Kia?
ago.
That was years.
But that was years ago. There's no excuse. Yes, you and you would sort of see the influence going to Kia, which it did. We
Yeah.
saw the influence go to Kia.
Oh, yeah.
But now Audi came out after the
so now they're copying Kia.
the Ria. Yeah, basically. Well,
This
and
is
now
insane.
Kia is being run, headed up by Peter Schreier. He's not just the designer anymore. He's the president of Kia.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so there. I just thought I'd share that picture there. So we got to drive the Rio. What was your impressions of the Rio?
Wow, I really love the interior of the Rio, especially the speedometer. And there's just a lot of things to tinker with the car.
Yeah, it is for a small car, but it's a little expensive for what it is. Right?
How much is it?
I think
there
they-
are a couple of variants. The
There are
one
a
with the
couple of
eco. Well, what is? Can you tell me?
Well,
what
it's
the eco
their
variant-
version of idle stop and go, which means when you are at a traffic light, the engine will just automatically cut off. That used to happen on the Corolla, but it wasn't part of the technology. That just was because
What Corolla? Your Corolla that
it is
Pacho bought?
Corolla.
It's
Yeah,
still happening.
it still happens.
Yeah, it's still happening.
Tulak. But this one is now it's a lot of cars have them. It's good to see that the Kias are bringing them in. You just shuts you off while you're in stop-start traffic, and that just saves on pollution and gas, etc.
But that's the only difference.
That's the only difference.
But how much is the difference if you get that?
I
that
don't know
feature?
if they're even offering that officially
Okay.
because
Oh, all right.
even we saw the Optima Hybrid come in,
Yep.
and that was really nice. What a car! What a beautiful car!
Actually, all the Kia vehicles that they've been releasing are really lookers. They're
Yeah.
just handsome vehicles. Even
Exactly.
the SUV.
Even the SUV, I love the Sportage. The look of the Sportage is
Yes,
fantastic.
it's really nice.
I think the only one that I think Hyundai did a slightly better job on, because you know they're twins, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have the Optima, the Sonata, the Rio, and the Accent, etc. I think the only one that the Hyundai did a better job on is the new Santa Fe.
Yeah.
It looks good. It looks a little bit better than the.
Have you
Sorento.
tested it? Because
Yes,
I've
I
been
have.
hearing, of course, I think it's more beautiful
It's
when you
fa-
talk about the
it's
new
gorgeous,
Santa
yeah.
Fe. But when it comes to the power, I think it's got the same engine.
No.
It's a new engine.
It's a new engine
But
already.
they say that it feels like the.
No,
Still feels like the
I felt that it's a lot smoother. The power is, it's got the power is more linear. It feels great. It's a beautiful diesel engine. In fact, that's the nicest thing I can say about the car, because the interior I found a little bit bland, but I wasn't in the higher end car.
Okay.
But if you want the higher end car, it's not 2.2 million, and that's a big jump for.
Wow, yeah. It's a lot of
Considering
money.
that those cars are competing, used to compete in the 1.7 million mark,
So now it's
1.6.
2.2. That's the top end model.
Yes, and you can get a Sorento for
my.
those 1.3.
So Sorento.
Yeah, Sorento at 1.3. That's a 5-seater basic Sorento, and and yeah, and then it goes all the way up to I think to 1.9.
But the 1.9's got 7 seats, right?
7 seats, and it's a 4x4 and all the goodies,
Okay.
All right, so there. I think it was an incredible event that Kia staged. They brought 14 cars to the island,
Wow.
and they shipped them from Manila. And then how they got the cars is they wrapped them in a net
Uh-huh.
and they craned them
Wow.
like that to the island, like that from the boat. They had to crane them, wrap them in a net. It was really, really scary, because the only other way apparently to get cars to Batanes, there's no
Yeah.
Ro-Ro. They have literally 2 bangka like that, and the car is balancing in the middle of the 2 bangka. I'm not kidding. There are
Galing.
pictures.
One
car?
Took a picture of it?
Yes.
2 bangkas for
there's
one car?
next week I will
Oh my
pull up a picture.
goodness. I
You'll
didn't know
see.
this.
So 2 bangkas and then a plank of wood in between, and you see it doing this. And yeah, it's like wow. It's really wow.
That's why it took them a long time to plan this event. In fact, while I
And
was
they
talking
hired
to
a
them,
ship from
So-
Manila.
Yeah.
So in that
they've been
portion
planning
where
this
they,
since last year.
where they bring down the cars, how many cars are submerged already there?
how many are ondoid?
Pom, 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 all of them over there.
No, I don't think any of them were submerged, but I heard that they were all sold.
yeah, I heard.
Yeah, because the island
Wow.
people are like, wow, they're here. May as well leave them here. You know, I mean, it's the
How-
hardest part is getting them here.
Did you ask them how many cars are in?
I think half of them were spoken for already.
Okay. I mean, cars there in Batanes already before.
Yes,
before they brought in the
I
Kia.
did ask.
Over 100.
No, it's
impossible.
No. You'd be surprised. Actually, it's. I did ask. It was somewhere around. It's 600 or 800, but that
Wow.
includes motorcycles.
I see.
And then because the last few times I went there first in 2008, then I think 2010, and then now again, and I've noticed that the big jump in motorcycles. And the reason for that was because the gas got so expensive, the jeepneys went up, and then the jeepneys are coding as well. 7 of them at a time are allowed on the roads, so people just started buying motorcycles. But they don't. They're just concentrated in their area. They once you leave the town, it's just beautiful. It's just beautiful.
14 jeepneys and they have color code.
3 days a week. 3 days a week. They're not allowed to be on the road 3 days a week.
Just the jeepneys. How about the cars? Is it this?
Well, the cars.
didn't
There,
ask
I don't.
that,
I,
yeah?
yeah, no. There's no coding. I think for cars.
Or maybe the coding
Okay.
is like Manila, but the other way around. Number 1, okay, you can go on Monday, and the rest of the way you stay inside.
Something like that. Yeah. But I think they did it for pollution. I'm not sure, but whatever it is, it's just it's one of the. It's really spectacular. You got to go there.
Oh yeah.
All right. Anyway, we got to go back. I'm sure you got some news happening in Auto Plus this week, or cars you tested.
Cars that you've dynoed, special
Luis.
cars, or you have videos that you can show.
No, we have some videos on and everything, but no, we don't want to put pressure on. We were practicing drifting with the motor car again. Mm-hmm. David was saying, it's not because you already practice or you compete. It's that you're not novice anymore. Mm-hmm. There are some drivers. We're gonna be novice forever.
Really?
No. But no, actually,
Novice
we went
forever.
there to. Luis Gono, the son of Carlos Gono.
Who's karting? He was a karter, right?
Yes, and then last year won the
How old is
championship.
he? How old is he? It's like
13.
13. All right.
He won the championship last year. First time to join, And then when he started to join was one weekend race after the season started. So he missed
Okay,
one weekend
missed
race,
one.
which is 3 races. And then he made it. He was able to win the championship.
Wow.
And then this year, he wasn't sure if he wanted to join in the karting or not. And then there are some events, some important events the GON is having, and they are conflicting, right? So they have some conflict of schedule there. So they decided to don't go anymore. And he said, "Do you want to try drifting?" First time for the guy to be able to use a clutch and a shifter. Then he started to practice first. He started to practice first in one of the car of David, the school car, just only learning how to shift.
Oh my.
Okay, just only learning how to shift and everything. That was last weekend. Then Monday we went there, and then we brought already the Motul drift car. 540 horsepower on a 13-year-old guy.
Okay.
And then he started to drive it around, and then we started to do some practices. The first day David was there. The second day we were also there with Alex, and then we started to do, do the donuts, figure 8, everything. And then we practiced a little bit more, started to do a bigger loops. And yesterday we were practicing, and then wow, man, he was able to do the whole racetrack.
He started about maybe last week, the first time he brought out the car. He didn't know how to release the clutch.
Oh yeah.
So the engine was stalling. When you take off when you pop the clutch.
And I'm
dies
pretty
down.
sure the clutch of that drift car is
So it was pretty hard for him.
Yeah.
So he was driving in a go-kart.
Yeah.
Go-kart, no clutch. He doesn't have that. When you rev it high and then you shift it down, right? So it just goes out, puts it to first gear, and then drives it first gear the whole track. So he was having a hard time shifting it. So I didn't made him shift. Man, now today he was shifting it, popping the clutch, feathering the clutch kick, and
awesome.
everything,
A
drifting
lot of smoke
sideways.
tires.
So I told Pacho, you know what? You see the guy? I think you're not gonna drift anymore, right?
You lost your seat.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
lost my seat. No. I retired before I lost my seat. I was able to retire before. No, but it's awesome.
Speaking of really good drivers, and have you heard the news about Marlon Stockinger?
Yeah, driving
Yep.
for F1 Lotus.
Yes,
Yeah.
he will be driving. He has been given a formal test by Lotus F1 team.
Wow.
So, first Filipino to ever get a formal testing by an F1, and not just any F1 team, the third in the championship, April 3 in Paul Ricard circuit. 350 kilometers he's going to be given. And plus, he's in the Renault World Series right now.
Yeah.
And he's also in the Lotus Young Drivers F1 program. So he's one of 7 people,
were chosen
that
by
were
Lotus.
chosen, that's being currently trained as an F1 driver already. So they're everything from
Juan
media.
Carlos Tunjo is there also from Colombia.
In the Renault.
With the same.
Really?
Out of the 7 with Marlon Stockinger, Juan Carlos Tunjo is there also. 17 years old.
Okay, so who are you cheering for? Are you split?
Yeah, he's Colombian.
Yeah, but he lives in the Philippines. He's got
Yeah,
a
I
Filipino
know.
wife. And,
I know.
yeah, you can be dual. You can be dual fan.
Would you allow me?
Yeah. That's
Thank
okay.
you.
That's okay. You can cheer for both.
Yeah, no. I honestly, of course, I wish.
But you have to be nicer to Alonso. That's the only deal.
I honestly wish the Tunjo will do good and everything, but I'm cheering more for Marlon.
You think Marlon's got what it takes? I think. Well, he's the closest we've gotten. Have you
Yes.
ever driven with him or?
No, but I saw him drive. The guy, the kid has the skills, man.
Yeah,
I think
really.
I just look at him. He doesn't. He
And the
knows.
discipline, and he's
He
pretty
knows what he's
focused on it.
doing. I think
Yeah.
He's very focused on it.
Yeah, exactly.
Because, this would be just, imagine getting that close. And the nice thing about it is, with this test, if he does well, if he beats his teammate this year in Renault World Series, there's a good opportunity that he will be either a test driver for Lotus F1, or they could do what they do for other teams. They tend to farm you out into the lower teams.
Yeah.
Like I know who did this. Probably regrets it, of course. BMW said, "Yeah, you can have Vettel. No, you can use him in Toro Rosso. What harm can he do there?"
my gosh.
3 world championships later, BMW kicked out of F1, and now it's that they were kicking themselves. Alonso is also part of Flavio's team. when Flavio was with Renault, but he gave him to Minardi. Here, just play around there, get some experience, and then when we think you've got some race experience under your belt, come over here.
Why did they do that? That's the question.
Experience.
Experience.
Because there's nothing you can test and test and test and test, but there's nothing right going wheel to wheel. And there's no substitute for that. You have to race, and they cannot take a risk on people putting you in a top team because every point is worth millions of dollars, millions and millions of dollars.
So back then, when you talk about this stint with Flavio, he wasn't as good as he is now.
He was exceptional, but he just needed to be polished. You just don't put a guy there from nowhere, from a lower series straight into a Renault seat because it's just there's too much. Okay, he will grow, but they cannot afford that learning curve. When you're a top team,
and the thing also for the principal of the team, how can he explain to the board? Oh, I'm gonna put that young guy because I think he's good, but he has no experience.
Yeah,
it's very difficult to justify that.
It's very difficult. So that's how they do it. The only exception, very few exceptions to those rules. One of them was Lewis Hamilton, but Lewis Hamilton was in the
been
McLaren
with the team forever.
Yeah, he was as a fetus. They found him as a fetus, and then they trained him.
He was born in the pit lane.
Yeah, he was born in a test tube.
Did he start 3 years old? What's the exact age? I think he was only around 3-4. He was driving.
He was already driving. I think about 4 or 5 years old, and then he walked up to Ron Dennis when he was like I think 8 or 9, and he said to Ron Dennis, "I'm going to drive for your team one day." And then a couple of years later, he was already part of the McLaren Young Drivers Program. And then the rest was just history. So by the time he sat in that McLaren race car, he was more well-prepared than Fernando Alonso. And it showed in that first season in 2007 how close they were. They tied for points. Okay, I think that Ron Dennis gave Lewis Hamilton a lot of too much. Too much. And that was a good example, actually, of why you don't do this, right? Ron Dennis jumped the gun. Okay, he had his child prodigy, and he thought, I'm going to make this guy into a star, whatever.
He's still about it.
You can say it's still an open wound.
Okay, we have got Hamilton versus Alonso.
It's still a wound. It's only been 6
and I
years.
will justify it this way and that.
That wasn't the mic, by the way. That was my hand. Okay. I saw him jump up.
Scary, huh?
Yeah. Take my shoe off. Bang. It's only been 6 years. I'm not over it yet. So, basically, had Ron Dennis said, "All right, Lewis, 1 year, learn from the world champ." 2-time world champ. Why do you hire him if you're going to disrespect him?
Yeah.
Then he could have said, "Okay, you learn, you watch, and everything." And then by next year, have a free fight. But no, he made them fight. So what they were doing, he made them fight in a very unhealthy way. And he was supporting Lewis Hamilton in unfair ways and stuff like that.
I remember that incident, James, when Alonso complained during that season that they were sharing the telemetry and that Lewis Hamilton would copy the settings
and
of
now
Alonso.
Lewis actually admits fully he really copied Alonso, and he idolized the way he drove and the way he prepared the car, and that's how he would always follow the setup of Alonso. And he learned a lot from him. But you see, they tied for points, and Kimi came from nowhere and just said, "You're not.
I know what I'm doing.
I know what I'm doing. Leave me alone.
I know what I'm doing." Let two of them fight, and then he won the championship.
He won the championship under that. No, he didn't win. They lost the championship. I see.
Yeah, because
not that I'm bitter. I'm not bitter.
Yeah,
but they lost the championship. But Kimi, of course, Mr. Consistent this year. Last year, I mean, wow.
Yeah.
3rd place in the championship. That's amazing. That's amazing what he did. So, it should be a very, very exciting one. And the cars start up in about a week from
March
now.
17th.
March 17th, yeah.
Will they show that on TV?
What?
Every
F1?
No, I mean Marlon Stockinger. I forgot.
Oh no, Renault
The
World
testing.
Series.
No.
Maybe we
No.
get some-
I don't think they don't really broadcast those
right.
tests. Well, not on commercial TV. I mean,
that would be nice to see.
it would be.
Yeah.
But you can follow on Facebook.
I wouldn't actually. No, I wouldn't mind actually going over. We're trying to work it out with the magazine.
Yeah, do a story.
Yeah, it's a
that would
great
be
story.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it should be.
And but I was gonna say something nasty because he's.
He's
You
always
blurt
like
it
that.
out, James.
Huh?
They might hear it, and then they might copy what
That's
you
true.
want to do.
That's true. No. It's not just that. He might lose his sponsor. So, anyway, I would love to go and watch a test.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would. I would love to go and watch a test and see how this is done. And the magazine might even actually they're considering now sending
Wow.
to do this story. I mean, it's a great story.
yeah,
It's
it
gonna
is.
be awesome.
Wow.
Yeah, because I mean, we never been that close.
Never.
Never.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not just on the radar. We're actually he's on the payroll already of an F1 team. His boss is Eric Boulier of Lotus F1, the guy who is Kimi's boss. His personal trainer is Grosjean's personal trainer. So all we need is Grosjean to,
Yeah.
Kim is the only one know what he's doing there.
yeah, it's true. And what
I'm doing.
what do you Wreck-It Romain, we used to call Grosjean last year. Remember, he kept crashing?
Yeah.
He just kept crashing. We call him Wreck-It Romain. If he continues with that streak, then Marlon has an even better chance.
Wow.
Because, Grosjean is so erratic that if he doesn't lift his game, he's going to be taken over by, if not Marlon...
Any new faces on F1 this year?
Yeah, new and familiar faces. Adrian Sutil's back. I don't know if you remember that guy. That
Yep.
guy got into a fight in a nightclub with one of the bosses of Renault and stabbed him with a freaking bottle and sliced him up. Yeah, it was big news. Yeah.
Oh my
Then
Bad boy.
yeah, bad boy, bad boy. And he stabbed him, and he needed stitches and everything. So then they went in a court, and Lewis Hamilton didn't show up, and Sutil called him a coward for not showing up and defending him. But there's really nothing to defend. So now he's back. So he took the final Force India seat, which is a shame. We were hoping that Kobayashi was going to be.
Kobayashi won't be racing this season.
No.
Oh, that's
no,
too bad.
it's all
Oh,
over.
man.
It's all over for Kobayashi. Poor guy. He was one of the most entertaining guys. All right. So before we wrap up the show, we got to remind people about the drifting competition again. Those who may have just tuned in now, we want to run through it again, David.
Yes, please try to check out our fan page. It's NDS Novice Drift Series, and it's going to be on Saturday. I think we will have something on Friday, like a few drifting here and there practice, so you guys can come. It's in Mega Tent, Libis. That's it.
David, for the people they want to go and watch, is there any entry fee or any?
I think there's a entrance. I think for a car for 50 pesos. So
That's like
Okay.
parking,
So just
just
for
parking,
parking, yeah.
and stuff like that. All right, and do we have any drifters going overseas yet anymore? Drift.
well, for now, no
Formula
one.
D.
No, still practicing because Formula D and D1 are really, really
high level.
high level already. Cars are really going like 1,000 horsepower.
There?
Yeah.
So what are we talking about? What are their apex speeds there?
About maybe 160, 170.
Oh my.
Sideways at 170 at the
Yeah.
apex.
There's this guy. His name's Daigo Saito, man. I saw him how he was driving.
Always wins it.
It's like 19-inch in the back for like 275 to 85 rims. And his engine is a 2J pushing about 1,300 to the wheel. GT40 something with a 100 shot of nose and all of that. And he just
GT42.
smokes it.
Oh my gosh.
Smokes the whole track. Like he puts the third gear with the V8. The V8 is really having a hard time catching it. Like 700 horsepower, man. How can you still have like 400, 500
Yeah.
wheel horsepower to catch up? So
Yeah.
it's really.
You would love to see a Filipino there compete.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be
really-
tough because of, for example, you're doing those high speeds. Where are you going to practice here in
Yeah.
Exactly.
the Philippines?
How about
like?
Clark? Clark is not a. Well,
Clark is probably pretty high speed, but maybe
But-
120.
Yeah. I mean, which is the highest speed corner in Clark to drift? Is it that last turn?
Maybe
Or
turn
the
one.
straight?
I would do the first turn.
Yeah, turn one.
The
After
turn
the
one.
long
That's uphill.
Yeah.
No. Well, the first from the main straight.
Yes.
It's on the left side. The one you're finish when you're finished.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your finish line, right?
For the short track.
Yeah, for the short.
Oh,
I think for
oh,
me
all right.
that would be a nice corner for me.
That can be a 120 corner.
Yeah, it can be. I did it already for a while.
Okay, and then the last corner of Clark.
The thing is with that, when you drift that, there's a trouble strip.
Yes.
So you really have to go out and... But that's the only way to really bring it out.
All right. Okay, well, we pretty much have to wrap up because they are going to be taking calls for the Good Times and Mo show, which is coming up in a little while. Before we go, we just want to remind you all that there is a promo happening here where we are broadcasting from, which is Beyond the Box. You can check their Facebook page for the promos, but basically they're offering 5% off iPod Shuffles and Nanos and iPod Touches and stuff like that. Plus, there's also... some benefits if you go for the HSBC Gold and Platinum cards for your payments as well. So till then, I will hopefully see you on Friday if you're still it happens a little bit later. I'll be coming back from Subic and with some of the other guys, and I'd love to play around there in your track, and maybe even if it's still possible to join the series on Saturday.
Yeah, sure.
So there.
You're novice again?
Yeah, born again.
Are you joining Pacho? No, you're not.
No.
Okay.
Born again novice. All right. So till then, any final words, Pacho?
No, well, basically that, if you guys want to see, out of all the motorsports, actually the most, I would say, friendly for the spectators and the more
fun, the most
spectacular
exciting.
for the spectators is really drifting, though.
Yeah.
And it's just here. You don't have to go far. You don't have to go to Clark or to BRC or anything. You just ride in C5, in Libis. Very easy to find, So try to go there and watch. Also, people that want to see, car with 1,000 horsepower up, go to Clark. There's going to be drag race this weekend as well, though.
All right. So till then, drive safely. Keep it on the track, not on the roads. I'm James Deacon.
Alan Sevilla.
Pacho Blanco.
David Feliciano.
Thank
Drive
you,
carefully.
guys. God bless. Bye-bye.